please subscribe to the channel right now, because today's video is for people who truly understand the value of history, patience, and smart collecting. If you enjoy learning about coins that most people overlook, but serious collectors quietly watch, subscribing will make sure you never miss content like this. Now let me ask you something important. Have you ever held a tiny copper-colored coin in your hand and thought it was worthless just because it was small? Many people do. They toss it into jars, drawers, or forget it completely. But experienced collectors, especially those who have lived long enough to see markets rise and fall, know a powerful truth. Value is not always loud. Sometimes it is silent, waiting for the right moment. Today we are talking about the one Grosz coin from Poland, dated 2007. At first glance, it looks simple, almost ordinary. Yet behind this small coin is a story of a nation, an economy in transition, and a generation that understands why small details matter. The one Grosz is the lowest denomination of the Polish zloty system. One Grosz seems insignificant, especially in modern times when prices rise and digital payments dominate. But coins like this are not made for show. They are made for circulation, for everyday life. And that is exactly where hidden value often begins. The 2007 Poland 1 Grosz was produced during a period when Poland was strengthening its position within Europe. The country had joined the European Union just a few years earlier, and its economy was growing steadily. Coins minted during this time reflect stability, national identity, and careful design rather than flashy changes. The coin is made primarily of steel coated with brass, giving it that familiar golden copper appearance. It is lightweight, thin, and small in diameter, which is why many people underestimate it. But collectors know that material alone never decides value. History, condition, minting numbers, and survival rates matter far more. On one side of the coin, you will see the large numeral 1, clearly indicating its denomination. Below it is the word Grosz, and around it, a decorative wreath made of oak leaves. Oak is not chosen by accident. For centuries, oak has symbolized strength, endurance, and resilience. These are qualities that resonate strongly with men who have lived through change, challenge, and hard-earned success. The other side displays the Polish national emblem, the crowned eagle. This eagle is more than a symbol. It represents independence, pride, and continuity. For older collectors, this kind of symbolism carries weight. It reminds them that coins are not just money, they are national fingerprints. Now let's talk about why a coin like this becomes interesting to collectors. The 2007 issue was minted in large quantities for everyday use. Because of this, most examples were heavily circulated. They passed through countless hands, pockets, cash registers, and machines. Over time, they became scratched, worn, bent, or even discarded. This is where scarcity is born. Not scarcity of production, but scarcity of condition. Finding a 2007 1 Grosz in excellent condition today is far more difficult than most people realize. High-grade examples, especially those that show sharp details, clean surfaces, and original shine, are becoming harder to find each year. Older collectors understand this concept very well. They remember times when common items later became rare simply because no one thought to preserve them. Coins are no different. What people ignore today often becomes tomorrow's quiet treasure. There is also another factor that serious collectors pay attention to: variations. Even within the same year, coins can show differences caused by dye, wear, alignment issues, or small minting anomalies. These are not always dramatic errors that jump out immediately. Sometimes they are subtle, requiring a trained eye and patience. Collectors who specialize in modern European coins have been quietly studying these details for years. They look for unusual thickness, slightly off-center strikes, weak or strong details in specific areas, or surface characteristics that set one coin apart from millions of others. For a man in his late 50s or 60s, this kind of collecting is not about speed. It is about knowledge, experience, and the satisfaction of understanding something deeply. It is about sitting at a table, holding a magnifying glass, and noticing what others miss. Another reason the 2007 one Grosz attract attention is generational timing. Coins from the early 2000s sit at an interesting crossroads. They are no longer brand new, but they're not yet considered old by the general public. This is often the stage when smart collectors begin positioning themselves early. History has shown this pattern again and again. Coins that were ignored for decades suddenly gain attention when people realize how few high-quality examples remain. By the time the wider market notices, the best pieces are already in strong collections. Poland's role in European history also adds depth to this coin. The country has endured partitions, wars, political shifts, and economic rebuilding. Each coin minted is part of that long story. Holding a Polish coin is like holding a small piece of that resilience. For collectors who value meaning over hype, that matters. They are not chasing trends. They are building collections that reflect history, identity, and long-term perspective. Now let's talk honestly about value, because that is what many viewers are quietly waiting for. Most circulated one Grosz coins from 2007 are still worth face value. That is the reality. But value in the collector world does not move evenly. It moves selectively. Exceptional examples, rare variations, and coins preserved in near-perfect condition are a different story entirely. These are the coins that auction houses and private collectors watch carefully. They're the coins that do not appear often, and when they do, they attract serious attention. Experienced collectors know that the biggest prices are not paid for average pieces. They are paid for the right coin at the right time, in the right condition, with the right story behind it. This is why some collectors are quietly holding on to coins like the 2007 one Grosz instead of dismissing them. They understand that patience is one of the most valuable tools in collecting. If you're someone who has lived long enough to see investments rise slowly and unexpectedly, this idea will feel familiar. You know that real value often reveals itself later, not immediately. So if you have old Polish coins stored away, or if you come across a one Grosz from 2007 that looks unusually well preserved, do not rush to ignore it. Take a closer look, compare it, study it. Sometimes the smallest coin demands the most respect. As we reach the end of this video, remember this. Collecting is not about chasing every coin. It is about understanding which coins deserve attention before everyone else notices. And for those rare, exceptional examples of the Poland one Grosz 2007 coin that meet the highest standards collectors look for, the value discussed among serious circles can reach as high as $860,000.